Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to Live with Sara and Tasha. I am Sara, the founder and CEO of Live Well Exercise Clinic, joined by my mountaineering Tasha with a beautiful backdrop.
Thank you. It appears I'm still in Iceland here on
I
Zoom.
know. You were there last time. How's it been there? You've
Oh,
been there
hi,
for a
I'm
while.
Tasha. I'm our VP of Brand and Culture here at LiveWell. And Sarah and I are LiveWell's original exercise physiologist and health coaches, and we're super excited to join you today. We love to host these calls just to share our passion about exercise and behavior change and how it can help you live your life to the fullest.
And we equally love Thursdays where we get to connect and meet our members from LiveWell from all across Canada. We get to see your amazing faces. So, just a friendly reminder, if you can see your face on the screen, that means that we can see it. We love to see your face, but we want you to know that. Everyone's audio is muted just so that we can get a good recording. And if you are comfortable opening up your video and you have free to do so. Again, we love to see everyone's faces.
Awesome. So, if you want to get involved in the conversation today, we'd love to hear from you. So, though you're on mute, you can use that chat function and get involved. So, let's get started with today's topic, which is discovering your strengths. And I know that sometimes, you know, most of the people attending our call, you've been around the block. You were born yesterday, and but even as we age, things change, and many of us just aren't in tune with what our strengths are. And often we spend a lot of time really focusing on our weaknesses when we're talking about, things that we should improve. And today we really want to look at, what are the ways that you're already awesome? Each of us has strengths that we can leverage and we can celebrate. But in case you're still struggling to find or finding it hard to kind of identify what those strengths are for you, um, we thought today we would discuss that a little. And the power of knowing your strengths is that research tells us that not only understanding them but applying them can give us better confidence, it can increase our happiness, it can strengthen relationships that we have, help us manage problems, reduce our stress, and build meaning and purpose. And as you know, that's a really big part of what we believe in here at Live Well. Everyone's here to live their life to the fullest, and your health is just a gateway to allow you to do that. So, how can we build lives of meaning and purpose? So, today we'll share 3 ways in which you can discover your strengths.
So, the first one is that you can take a quiz. And I know there's some hokey pokey quizzes out there, and there's, lots of stuff that we see on social media, but there still are some good quizzes. And I'm going to tell you a little bit of an interesting story. I recently moved, and in going through my boxes, I found some things from when I was younger, from my university days, and even from my high school days of, newspaper clippings and, sports day awards and those types of things. But in it, I found from grade 11, my dad had set me up with a kind of career planner. And she took me through a quiz to really try to assess what direction I wanted to go. And my dad really felt that it was important in order to kind of guide us for what we wanted to do for when we went to university. And so as I was moving, I sat down on the floor and I started to flip through. There was this long quiz, but there was an output, and I was less interested in the quiz than what was the output. What in grade 11 did this quiz and this career kind of counselor or coach, what did they provide me with? And very interestingly, they had isolated that I would most likely have a career in the wellness space and that I would most likely be entrepreneurial. And I found that fascinating. So,
So, Sarah, what I'm hearing is that these quizzes work, and I should have known you in grade 11 when I decided just to follow a whim and go into business administration as when I first went to university and investment banking, only to discover that was not where I wanted. That was not where my strengths were best used.
but I'm sure that you took some things there that you learned there and now you translate them, right? And that's what this is all about. And so, some of these quizzes actually can be really, can really help us to just become aware of the present. And so, specifically, one of them that we like is, and I don't know if do we have a link to it, Tasha? We
Yeah,
do.
I can
You
put it
put it
in the
in the
chat.
chat. Okay,
I'll do
amazing.
that.
Okay. It's a survey of character strength. So it's a free assessment. It does take just short of 15 minutes. So you're going to have to invest that 13 and a half minutes in yourself to take the quiz. But it is kind of fun to go through it. But it provides a wealth of information to help you understand your best qualities. And the report provides a personalized, in depth analysis, including even actionable tips to apply your strengths to find greater well being. So, we really encourage you. Click on it while you're in the chat here so that you can take it out of our session today. For those of you who are listening, the website that we are referring to is www.viacharacter.org. So that's www.viacharacter.org. And there you can find a quiz, and hopefully it helps you to apply and find your greater strengths.
Yeah, Sarah, when I took that one, it correctly identified that one of my character strengths is humor. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Thank you, thank you. And zest. I scored high in zest. I
Wow.
liked that one.
Yeah.
Zest is not a word I probably would have come up with on my own. And it also helped me identify that I have a love of learning. And I don't know that
Oh,
I
I
had
knew that.
necessarily nailed that down on my own before I
Oh,
took that quiz. I was like, doesn't everybody just love to do that?
I knew
I
that
didn't
about
kind
you.
of recognize that that was a character strength for me.
And I personally think that Tasha is very, very funny. And I will take you back to when Tasha and I would teach education classes, both at the hospital, in the community, at Livewell. And Tasha would be talking about, a topic like diabetes, like a serious topic. But Tasha was always able to bring humor into it. I personally always found this humor the funniest. And so I would be sitting in the back as Tasha would be teaching classes, and I would be laughing the whole time as if it was a comedy show because I found Tasha so funny. Do you remember those days?
Sometimes she was the only person laughing, so I don't know
Okay.
what that is.
That's okay. You got one of us.
Ah, I love it.
You only have to
So
make one person laugh to call yourself famous.
that's right. And then I fulfilled my purpose,
Yes,
right?
exactly.
So, the next tip we have for you is to ask trusted people. And this, I had actually a girlfriend call me once and ask me this question: what would you say are my greatest strengths? And it was kind of, oh, I had to kind of stop and really think about that and reflect. And I think it was a great exercise, something that I've done since. So asking trusted people. So again, you're not going to ask somebody who you don't have a great relationship with what they feel are your best qualities and what they think you're good at. And it gives you this fresh perspective at looking at yourself through somebody else's eyes. And that can give you a small shift in identity as you continue to grow. One of the kindest compliments that I've gotten from someone is that they said, "You know who you remind me of, Tasha? You remind me of Joy, the character from that movie." Oh, Sarah, shoot, now I forget the movie's name. It's a Pixar movie about your emotions.
Um, Inside Out.
Inside Out, if you've not watched this delightful children's show, which also appeals to adults, I highly recommend it. And she said, "You remind me of that character." And I would have I would have probably more identified with the angry, grumpy character in that show. But it was a perspective shift for me to hear from somebody else what they see or what the outside world sort of portrays me as, which was of course a kind portrayal. Maybe she was just sucking up, but um ask people of, for example, of times that you've maybe exhibited these qualities, that way you can see how it's come into action. And then you can have those concrete examples to anchor your strengths. So for sure, it takes courage and vulnerability to ask somebody else to provide you with that feedback, even if the feedback that they're going to give you is positive, like something like joy. I've asked my children before, how would you describe mom? That's a dangerous question sometimes.
Not recommended.
And I've even asked, where do you think I can improve? Also, really opening yourself up for a world of hurt. But
We'll put the disclaimer
asking
on this,
people
don't
about your
try this at home, right, Tash?
so asking people about your strengths can really sort of challenge even negative self images that you might have about yourself, that you think that other people just don't see you that way. And I know Sarah and I have sometimes had conversations where she said something or I've said something and we said, "That's not my experience. That may be how you feel, but that's not my experience when I deal with you or talk to you or see you in your life." So it can help you forge a more positive self identity and then help champion yourself going forward.
And so it is equally as important for us to actually identify our weaknesses. And I fondly remember Tash and I had the opportunity to go and listen to an amazing speaker. His name was Dave Randall, and he has written a book called Freak Factor. And he really was able to even talk about his own experiences growing up. He was, a child who was maybe looked at as rebellious or didn't follow all of the rules and couldn't really sit down and learn and be quiet and focus. He wasn't a perfect student and all of that. And he kind of argues that what makes you weird also makes you exceptional, and that what makes you weak also makes you strong. And he took us through an exercise that I thought was really, really compelling because it allowed us to really look at, okay, well, what is a weakness? Even if we want to go very have a really introspective moment and go, what are the labels that we wear? What are the labels that we wear that we feel that maybe others have put on us or that we have put on ourselves? And then how can we kind of look across to the other side and see how that is a strength and then be able to identify that and go, I'm actually so glad that I have that so-called weakness or freak factor because of the strength. I'm glad that I have this weird little thing about me that makes me exceptional. And I would love for us, Tash, do you have access to that slide that you could maybe pop up that has the comparison on it?
Yeah.
I know it takes a little bit of messing around with the computer, so that's fine. But when we were going through this exercise, it reminded me of a fairly lighthearted story. But when I was 6 years old, my mom put me in drama class. I believed that I was made for the stage. I dreamt of being Annie and singing "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow." I thought I would be fabulous. I dreamt of being in Cats on Broadway, and I made it through my first drama class. And the teacher said to my mom upon pickup, "Could I speak with you?" My mom thought, "Oh wow, they're probably going to say how exceptional my daughter was." I'm putting those words in my mom's head. My mom never actually claimed that that's what she was thinking, but the teacher said, "So Sarah's not welcome back." Drama class. Unfortunately, she's quite bossy. And so we're going to have it was quite disruptive to, I was asking all of the children to, in their own minds, freely come up with any tree that they wanted to be and to act as that tree. And Sarah proceeded to tell everyone what tree they should be and how they could improve it and how they could become a better tree. So I was not invited back. But what I will say is that, um, was I convicted in what I believed to be true? Yes. Was I decisive? Yes. Was I committed to what I thought was right? Yes. And so, even though I was a bossy little girl, maybe some of those things were leadership skills, right? That allowed me to one day rise up and open Live Well Exercise Clinic. Who knows? But I am taking that bossy term and I am trying to translate it into something positive. So hopefully you can all see the screen right now. Let's just see a thumbs up from people if you can see the screen. Are we getting thumbs ups?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So, even for myself, I look at, number 27, for example, is has the word controlling in it as a weakness. Bossy could be a form of controlling, maybe. But on the strength side in 27, influential, powerful. I can take those strengths and I can see the weakness and the strength and how they play in. So take a moment and take a look at this. And again, just right now, I want you to kind of go down the weakness categories. Those are the ones on the right hand side, and be able to kind of maybe pull out some words that you feel are labels you've either put on yourself or that other people have, or just are things that you have identified to be your weakness. And what is the reciprocal strength? And if you feel comfortable, feel free to even share those in the chat. Feel free to type in the number, like, I'm number 27, but I'm really embracing that, the good side of that. I think that for me, this was a big eye opener when we were in this talk with Dave Randall, and really trying to explore that there is an upside for every aspect of our personality, right? And to never just really look at a weakness as a negative thing that we need to push away and push into a corner and sweep under a rug and hope doesn't come out in our personality. There is a phenomenal, exceptional component of every part of our personality. So um, I hope that you guys are welcome to look this up. This is an image from the internet. This is available to you to go and look at. Feel free to search up David Rendell and take a look. Again, the book was Freak Factor, and take a look at this. And I don't know if anyone is sharing in the chat right now. I'll take a little look.
No, I think we're good there, Sarah.
Yeah,
I know when we were listening to Dave talk, and we had to go through and pick all of our weaknesses from
yeah,
a sheet that only had weaknesses, and then
yeah. We
go
didn't
pick,
see the strengths.
yeah, and then go pick strengths. And then basically, when this list came up, you were seeing did you have, a match? And that was one that was probably quite prominent for you. And for one of mine was number 13. And I have been accused before, or when you're rethinking an interaction you had as you lay in your bed at night. Hopefully that's not just me who runs through stuff like that. That I can be perceived as blunt and rude on occasion. But the flip side of that is that I'm also somebody who's very direct and honest. And would you agree with that, Sarah?
Yes, absolutely. And I appreciate that about you.
And unfortunately, sometimes with my directness and honesty, which I definitely see as a strength, some people will perceive that as being a little blunter than they would appreciate. So I think it is that each of our weaknesses has a flip side of strength. And so can we look at how then can we not become more blunt and rude, but how can we really foster that we're a direct and honest person that resonates with me as a value, not just as a strength, to be somebody who's honest and not superficial and is going to show up as my authentic self to something. So that's when I feel my best. So how can I bring more of that in, to my work, to my personal life, and to anything I'm doing? And I loved that there was this idea that there are two sides of it. So rather than beating yourself up for things that you might find on that weakness side, instead, certainly we're not going to go around being rude or critical or judgmental, or but to know that there is another side of that, a more positive side. And how can I bring that out more often in the interactions I have, or in my day-to-day life?
Mhm.
And what I loved about what he said is that these things that make you different or unique, these are the things that bring you to greatness. Don't necessarily try to change them. Just focus on how they make you uniquely you. And so, how can you capitalize on those strengths in order to, or weaknesses, in order to show up as sort of your best self? And I thought that was a really kind of neat way to look at it. And I know there are videos of him on the internet if you're interested in looking
Yeah.
more into it.
Okay, awesome. Let's take that image off of the screen now. And I think that an interesting conversation has come up in the chat, just asking around, that word lazy and being overweight or carrying extra weight, and how do we balance that? And I think that the difference here is that we are talking about innate characteristics of our personality, rather than kind of these societal labels. And I very much agree with you that there is a societal label out there that has to be debunked, that has to be spoken about, that has to be advocated against. That lazy equals overweight, or overweight equals lazy. Because what we know is that our dose of physical activity is the number one predictor of our overall health, more than diabetes, more than heart disease, more than blood pressure, more than our weight. And that in fact, I believe that it is that we have not, as a even health, wellness, fitness industry, however we want to look at that, there's been a gap there for the people that we serve. And fitness typically has kind of veered towards performance and physique. And I think that where Live Well has kind of picked up this niche is about helping people to live life to the fullest, no matter what weight, no matter what age, no matter what stage. And so some of that is about debunking these societal labels. And what we're talking about here today is true aspects of our personality, right? Tasha, I know you wanted to add something.
Yeah, I was just going to say that um, I've listened to many obesity specialists talk, and I think as again, Sarah and I are here to sort of debunk some myths that are out there, and I think it's really important for us to, as a society, to recognize that somebody who is overweight but maintaining their weight is typically working very hard to do that. And there is a host of metabolic, um, a cascade of metabolic issues
Yeah.
that go and fight your body to not to regain weight.
Mhm.
So our body wants to regain weight because it believes if you're losing weight, we must be in a scarcity situation. The body doesn't determine, you just want to lose weight because you think that's a healthier situation to be in. Your body believes, oh my goodness, something must be wrong. We're in a calorie deficit. I need to make all sorts of metabolic changes to try and help this person gain this weight back. It's an
Yeah.
evolutionary thing. So somebody who has either lost weight or is carrying extra weight and is not gaining more is working really hard to
Yeah.
make that happen. And I think that's just such an important distinction, that working hard doesn't necessarily mean losing a bunch of weight. You can be working really hard to maintain your weight, to maintain previous weight loss. So I think that's just such an important thing for everybody to be aware of, that is incredibly hard work.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you for bringing that topic up because it is really meaningful to us at Live Well, and hopefully is a way that we are supporting all of our members, so that you can truly kind of unlock your true potential and be in an environment where you are inclusive. And a shout out to Ryoko today, who I saw posted yesterday on social media that she got together with her original Live Well family of the original members of her exercise session. If you don't mind me saying, Ryoko was one of our original members in White Rock and has since moved to Burnaby, so now attends a different location, but was able to connect. And that just shows again the roots and the connections and the family that truly is made, and the community. And the number one thing that keeps us committed to our health and our wellness is community. So that warmed my heart to see that picture, Ryoko. Thank you so much for sharing that yesterday. So, what do we want to do this week to live well? Well, maybe you want to venture out and ask a trusted friend, family member, maybe even a colleague, and to see what they see as your strengths. And then you can maybe make a plan to put some of those strengths into practice, maybe to think about those strengths and how you can leverage your strengths to become that person that you imagine in your health vision that you've written and created for yourself. And love yourself enough to exercise. Taking care of your health is the most important thing that you can do, and you are worth every moment that you put into that. Don't forget to log into your member portal and to set your weekly practice plan for the week ahead so that you can do something that truly makes you feel successful this week.
And if you haven't already subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. And you can catch up on all of the videos that are posted out. Sarah and I are going to take a brief summer hiatus. And so this will be our last Sarah and Tasha Live for the summer of 2021. We will be back with you on September 16th. We're going to take a little time to get our tykes, or not so tykish anymore, settled into school. And I have some time off, and Sarah's got some time off to enjoy the summer. So we will see you back here for the new school year I don't know, the school year, even though I don't go to school, Sarah always makes me feel like a time for new starts. You know, wash the sand out of your feet and wash the sunscreen off your body and start fresh for fall. So we'll be excited to see you then with a fresh new set of topics to chat about. So thank you all for joining us today. It's such a pleasure to see everyone's faces. I missed you guys last week. If you are watching this on a replay and you're not a member at Livewell Exercise Clinic, come and join our community. Learn all about how having a strong community behind you can help you accomplish your health goals. You can visit us at www.livewellclinic.ca to learn more about how we can host you for a guest session at a location near you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. We've had a great summer with you. We look forward to the fall. We will see you back here September 16th. Thanks, everyone.